The Middle Ages. By the 5th and 6th centuries AD, the classical modes of performing tragedy and comedy had degenerated and been changed so much that they were no longer recognizable as such. In Europe as a whole, the most popular forms of entertainment were folk dances and various demonstrations of acrobatic skills and juggling. Traveling groups of mimes and conjurors, performing occasionally comic interludes, were common. The nearest they came to acting was in the recitation of narratives about heroic deeds. There was little chance of developing a true histrionic art, while the Church condemned such groups as disreputable. Ironically, it was within the Church itself that performances of a vaguely theatrical nature were permitted. Simple dramatic structures were developed by the priests chanting Latin dialogue based on stories from the scriptures, and these gradually became more complex liturgical dramas. Performances eventually moved from within the Church to outside it, with priests being replaced by laymen. By the 14th and 15th centuries, large groups of amateur actors were performing various biblical stories, with all members of their communities taking part in the productions in one way or another, building scenery, making props, etc., very much as is still exemplified today in the dramatic festival at Obermurga. The so-called morality plays became more allegorical, and were influenced by the spread of humanism, with the introduction more and more of comic elements, and increasingly realistic acting. These changes happened throughout Europe. In France, Spain, Italy and Germany, religious plays were eventually being performed alongside pure farces, with individual writers now becoming well known for their skills in writing comedy, such as the great Hans Sachs in Germany. Although acting styles were undoubtedly often crude and naive, with costumes being colorful rather than historically accurate, there were individual performers who acted sensitively and were able to move their audiences. There are documentary accounts of such performances. There are some writings extant from the Middle Ages which give advice on acting. One in particular recommends a measured, balanced delivery. The actor should clearly avoid excessive emotion. This advice is to be found in the introductory remarks to one of the oldest known French mystery plays, The Representation of Adam, written sometime in the 12th century. Though the dialogue was written in Norman French, the remarks, with suggestions also for costumes, scenery and gestures, were in Latin. The actor playing Adam is given the following advice: Adam shall be trained well to speak at the right moment, so that he may come neither too soon nor too late. Not only he, but all shall be well practiced in speaking calmly and making gestures appropriate to the things they say.